Dear students, in the last class, we have discussed about the general introduction of NMR spectroscopy and some part of the principle of NMR spectroscopy. Today, we are going to discuss the remaining part of the principle of NMR spectroscopy. You can see here, this is precessional frequency of proton, that is equal to gamma V0. You know well that when we put any magnetic nuclei in external magnetic field of strength V0, then that particular nuclei start precess. It means under the influence of external magnetic field of strength V0, any magnetic nuclei show the precessional frequency, okay, that can be measured using this formula omega equal to gamma V0, where omega is the angular precessional frequency and gamma is the gyromagnetic ratio and V0 is the strength of external magnetic field measured in Gauss or Tesla. Okay, and this is gamma can be calculated using 2 pi mu upon Hi, where mu is the magnetic moment of spinning bar magnet or proton and I is the spin quantum number of spinning proton or bar magnet. Okay, and we know that the frequency of radio waves 2 pi mu, that is equal to gamma V0 and nu equal to gamma V0 upon 2 pi, and from this expression we can say the precessional frequency of any nuclei present in external magnetic field of strength V0 is directly proportional to the strength of external magnetic field. When we increase the strength of external magnetic field, then the precessional frequency of the nucleus present in external magnetic field will be correspondingly also increases. Okay, is it clear? The precessional frequency of any magnetic nuclei is directly proportional to the strength of external magnetic field. Okay. Now we are going to discuss the other associated points. Number 1, number of signal. Number of signal. Number of signal depends upon the number of different set of equivalent protons. Here, number of signal means number of different set of equivalent protons present in compounds. For example, cyclopropane. In cyclopropane, we get only one NMR signal. because all the protons present in cyclopropane are equivalent. So we get 1 NMR signal. In the same way, CS3, CS2, Cl, we get 2 NMR signals. One signal for CS2 protons and one signal for CS3 protons, because there are two different set of equivalent protons. CS2 protons are equivalent and CS3 protons are equivalent, but CS2 protons are different from CS3 protons because the chemical environment of both the set of protons are different. So we get 2 NMR signal in the NMR spectrum of chloroethane. So one other example is in this compound we get 1, 2 and 3 NMR signals. Three NMR signals. Here CS2 group are same, but their chemical environment is not same. So we get 3 NMR signals, A, B and C. This CS2 group of protons or this CS2 set of protons is in close proximity with the bromo group and CS2 group, and this CS2 group is in close proximity with CS2 and CS2, and these two CS2 groups, C and A type of the CS2 group, are not equivalent because their surrounding is not equal. This CS2 is attached with Br and this CS2 is attached with Cl. So in this way we get 3 NMR signal in this compound. Okay, number of signal depends on the different types of the protons. Okay, now we are going to discuss position of signal. There may be different type of the protons present in any organic compound, but the position of signal cannot be same for each type of the protons, because the position of signal for any proton depends upon the nature of that proton. On changing the nature of the protons, the chemical shift or position of that signal also changes. Position of signal is also called chemical shift. Position of signal is also called chemical shift and denoted by delta or tau and measured in ppm. And the relation between delta and tau can be expressed as delta or tau equal to 10 minus delta. Okay, and position of signal or chemical shift is the difference in the absorption of proton and with reference to the reference substance, that is tetramethylserine. Okay, we can denote this chemical shift in either tau value or delta value, and the signal of the reference material, that is EMS, is obtained at 0 delta value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. This is delta value in ppm. Right? And this zone is called uphill and this is called downhill. And protons present in this zone are called shielded. And protons present in downhill are called deshielded. This chemical shift arises due to the shielding and deshielding of the protons and depends on the nature of protons. This chemical shift or position of the signal depends upon nature of protons. Okay? Is it clear? The value of the chemical shift for different type of the protons will be different, depends on the nature of that proton. For example, for cyclopropane, here we get one NMR signal and all the CH2 group and all the protons are in equal environment, so we get one signal and the delta value for these protons will be 0.2 ppm. Okay? For primary alkane, for these type of the protons, the delta value will be 0.9 ppm. For aldehyde protons, for this type of the protons, the chemical shift value we get 9 to 10. For aromatic proton, we get chemical shift value from 6 to 9. For enolic proton, the delta value varies from 15 to 70. For carboxylic proton, for this proton, delta value will be 10.5 to 12. Okay? In these examples, we are seeing that on changing the nature of the protons, the value of delta on chemical shift is also changing. Okay? Now, we are going to discuss about the factors. We can calculate the value of chemical shift using this formula. For any particular proton, delta H means chemical shift value for a proton, that is equal to absorption frequency of that proton minus absorption frequency of TMS upon operating frequency of the instrument. Okay, where nu x is equal to absorption frequency of proton and nu TMS is the absorption frequency of TMS, that is reference material, and nu of equal to operating frequency of the instrument in megahertz. Operating frequency of instrument in megahertz. Is it clear? We can calculate the chemical shift value for different type of the proton using this formula. This is very simple way of calculating the chemical shift value of different type of protons. Now, chemical shift value depends on different factors. Now we are going to discuss the factors influencing affecting delta value. Factors affecting delta value. The first factor is inductive factor. Inductive effect, that is plus I or minus I. Okay, when a more electronegative atom is attached with a particular set of protons, then in that case electron density around that proton will be attracted by that electronegative atom, and in that situation that proton will be decelerated and signal of those protons will be in downfield or higher delta value. For example, chloromethane or chloroethane, here electronegativity of chlorine atom is greater than electronegativity of chlorine atom. The electronegativity of chlorine atom is 3 and electronegativity of chlorine atom is 4. Then these electrons will be shifted towards chlorine and these electrons will be shifted towards chlorine. But these are A type of proton, these are B type of proton. These are A dash type of proton and these are B dash type of proton. Then these A type of protons are decelerated in comparison to the B type of proton, and we get delta value for A type of proton will be greater than B. This is delta value. And in this case, delta value of A dash type of proton will be greater than B dash type of the proton. Okay, delta band. This it means these B type of the protons are far away from this electronegative fluorine atom, and in this case B dash type of the protons are far away from this electronegative fluorine atom. When we increase the distance of the electronegative atom from a particular set of protons, then the effect of this shielding will be decreased continuously. It means we can say the de-shielding or electronegativity of attached atom will be directly proportional to the de-shielding. When we increase the electronegativity, then correspondingly those protons will be de-shielded. Now we are discussing one more example. Here these methyl group exert plus I effect, and this methyl group is also exert plus I effect, but plus I effect exert on this is A type of CS2 group and this is B type of the CS2 group. Then plus I effect of these two methyl groups will be greater in comparison to this methyl group. In that case, these protons will be shielded and the signal of these protons will be in uphill or lower delta value. And in the same case, for CS2 type of the proton, we get the signal uphill, but in comparison to the B type of the proton, we get slightly downfield sides of the signal. Okay, so this is inductive effect. The second factor is van der Waals de-shielding. Van der Waals de-shielding. When compound is a bulky compound, then in that case, bulky group repels the electron density from the surrounding of the protons. In that case, those type of the protons will be de-shielded because the bulky group diminishes the electron density by the repulsive interactions. Van der Waals de-shielding uses de-shielding. By repulsive interactions. Third one is anisotropic effect. That is also called space effect. Okay. For example, this is a structure of an alkene compound. When we put this compound in external magnetic field of strength V0, then we observe that pi electrons start circulates. When pi electrons of the alkene circulate under the influence of external magnetic field of strength V0, then in that case these protons are present in paramagnetic zone, or this is diamagnetic zone. Okay, when we put any alkene in the external magnetic field, the double bond or pi bond electrons start circulate and induce secondary or induced magnetic field that opposes the applied magnetic field. But the position of these protons in these alkenes are all in this zone, that is aligned to the external magnetic field or in the same direction of the external magnetic field. So these protons are called de-shielded. These protons are called de-shielded, not shielded. And we get the signal in down field. It means to bring these protons in resonance under the influence of external magnetic field, we required lesser strength of the external magnetic field. This is called anisotropic effect. Another example is of band wing, in which these pi electrons start circulate under the influence of external magnetic field V0 in this way. That all the protons fall in paramagnetic zone, and we get these protons signal at 6 to 9 ppm. Okay, and for alkynes, these protons fall in the dimagnetic zone. This is paramagnetic zone and this is dimagnetic zone, and there is the actual magnetic field V0. Okay, it means these protons are shielded and we get the signal of these protons, and means acetylenic protons at the up edge, or these protons are called shielded protons. Shielded protons. Okay, this is called anisotropic effect of space effect. Next one is hydrogen bonding. What is the effect of hydrogen bonding on the chemical shift value? Or one is hydrogen bonding. Okay, when protons are bonded with hydrogen bonding, for example, these protons are bonded with hydrogen bonding. When a particular proton is bonded with the hydrogen bonding, then in that case signal will be in downfield. Signal will be in downfield, and these type of the protons will be called dissipate. Dissipate. Because the electron density around this proton will be attracted by this highly electronegative atom that is attached with this hydrogen atom by the hydrogen bonding. It means when proton is bonded with the hydrogen bonding, it will show downfield shift in the NMR spectrum. Hydrogen bonding is of two types. One is intramolecular and another one is intermolecular. Both types of the hydrogen bonding can be differentiated by the NMR spectroscopy, because intramolecular hydrogen bonding is concentration independent, whereas intermolecular type of hydrogen bonding is concentration dependent. Means when we change the concentration of the solution, the position of that signal will be changed. But in intramolecular hydrogen bonding, on changing the concentration of the solution, we can't get the shift in the chemical shift value. It means intramolecular is concentration independent, and this is concentration dependent. Okay, these are the factors influencing the chemical shift. Next class we discuss another topic associated with the NMR spectroscopy. Now we are going to stop here, and thank you all for listening patiently.